Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and basically what I have here is, well, this is the same website I did from when we did the nav, so how to make a sandwich video, okay, and then how to make a slider video. And again, the idea here isn't to show you how to make things super fancy and nice, but to show you sort of the basic premise, the basic mechanism, and then you can play around with it and make it pretty and spend the extra time. These are just supposed to be sort of quick introductions. So the next one's going to be a modal. I want to show you guys how to make a modal. Do you want to build a modal? Okay. And let's see here. Okay, so essentially what a modal is in concept is usually basically one div that takes up the whole screen, and sort of like a translucent black screen to make it look like you've dimmed the screen. And then there's going to be like another more visible div on top of it that basically contains some sort of message. Okay, and that's so basically that's the first thing we need to do. We need to create those two divs. So let's see here. Let me head back to Visual Studio Code. We'll go back into the HTML, and I'm just going to create a div here. Actually, I'm going to create it before everything. And we're going to say div.modal. And inside there is another div dot message. Okay. And we'll leave it at that for the moment. Cool. So we want to go to the CSS, and let's make a modal. So just make a little break, modal, control backslash, there we go. And let's see here. Dot modal, so this is going to be the one that takes up the whole screen. So width 100 viewport. I'm going to do viewport width, take up the whole width of the screen. Height 100 viewport height. Okay, and background color. I want to do RGBA because I want there to be some transparency. Okay. And I always gotta look it up. Okay. Let's go to the browser and let's look up RGBA black. Okay. Let's do this. I just want the RGB color code. RGB color code. There we go. Black 000. Okie dokie. Works for me. I should be able to remember that by now. So 0-0-0, and then the fourth number, the A, is for transparency. So we're going to say 0.8 for now. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Okay, so right now that's on top of everything. So we need to get that to not be on top of everything. So we want the display of that, or position, to be absolute. And to be from the top 0, and then from the left 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Display, let's see what choices I have. Contents. I don't think I need any of that right now. There we go. We're making it absolute. See, now it's on top of everything. Okay. Although I think... what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to 100%. That work. So I want to take up this space too. Okie dokie. Let me just do this then. I'm going to say for now 1,000 pixels for height. Good. Okay. Oh, I need to look at that. Now let's make the modal on top of it. And so that's going to be the, was it message? Made it? Yeah, message. So this is the div that's inside this div. Style. Message. Dot message. Background color. We're actually going to give this a height of 300 pixels. Width 300 pixels. Okay. Background color white. See, we're starting to see this container here, but we just want to move that here to the center. So we're going to do position relative. So it's relative to the container that it's in, which is the dark modal div. So we're going to do from the top, 50% from the top, 50% from the left. Let's see how that works. That's too much. Okay, so let's make this 30 and 30. Oh, what I can do is this. Let's do this. Let's try this approach. I want to make this display flex. I'm going to justify content center, align content center. Let's try align item center. There we go. So it shows up in the center, but I don't want that. So then let's make that the height a little bit better on this. Let's make this 800. Most, let's make it 700. Because again, it's centering it based on the top and bottom. So there we go. That works for me. Okay, cool. So we got this div here. Now I just want to make sure text looks good inside of it. So I'm going to put some dummy text for the moment. Okay, and okie dokie. So let's go in here and put some dummy text in the div. There we go. Let's see how that looks. I want that text to be kind of centered. So let's do this. Let's put it inside of a p tag. Okay. And let's see here. Let's go back to styles. Message. I want text align inside the message div to be centered. And I'm going to make this a display flex to justify content center again. Align items center. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, there we go. And then I just want to put and what I'm going to do is put a button underneath that called close. Okay. Which I do want on another line, so I'll put that in its own p tag. Do I want to do that? Okay. Cool. Save, that's fine. Should be able to make that work. That's not updated. Just take a look at that HTML again. P. That should be taking onto another line. See if I just put in a BR tag, would that take care of it? Go here to main. There is the div slider. Wait, did I put this? Oh no, I have this all the way at the top. The modal message. Oh, because we're in a flex box. That's right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to column. Flex message, flex direction, column. Save. There we go. That looks better. Because now the two divs are being stacked in a column, but I'm still using justify content and align items to align it dead center. Good. That's what I want. Okay, let's see here. Sorry for the sirens. Now let's see here. What I do want to do is get rid of that dummy text here. Save. And now we need to create a new function for when we trigger the, there's a couple functions we need to make. One, to actually trigger, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually make these two things disappear. Okay. They'll still exist, but they're going to disappear. So we're going to sit here and say style for the modal, display, what we'll do for now, it's going to be display none and display none. And then here, display none. Actually, I think that already, just that one takes care of it already. Yep, there it goes. It takes care of it. Cool. So what we're going to do is create another button there at the bottom so we can trigger the modal. So I'll put that in the footer. Why not? Button. Open modal. Save. Okay, there's the open modal button. I'm not going to worry about styling it at this point. Cool. So first thing I want to do is make it where if you click that button, we can turn on the modal. I will do that first. So let's actually create a variable for our modal. So const modal equals $. We grab it by the class dot modal because we gave it that class. So that's that. So to turn on modal. Okie dokie. And we're going to do const toggle modal equals the event which equals, let me think here, what do I want it to do? I just want to take the modal and change the CSS of it from to display to flex. And that's all it really needs to do. So now let's make that other button, this is footer button. Let's attach that on there. So footer button, that's the button in the footer. Dot on, click, toggle modal. Save. That should work. Let's give that a shot. So if I click this button, there the modal has now appeared. Okay, that works for me. But now we want to make it where the modal closes. Okay. And let's first just grab that button in a variable. The button that's inside the modal, which is right here at the close button, which is inside the div class message. So it's the only button in message, so that's how we'll do it. We'll grab it that way. So const close modal. Yep, that's fine. Close modal equals, it's in dot message button. Okay. Now we'll create a function that to turn off modal. To toggle modal equals event modal.css, and this is going to be close modal. Again, we're changing the display to none. To turn on, turn off the modal. And we need to attach that to a button, which we do have the button saved in a variable called close modal. So dot on, make it a click event. And when you click on that button, we're triggering off this close modal function. Close modal. Okay. So first we turn on the modal, then we close the modal. On the modal, close the modal. And there you go. You have a modal. Okay, and you can use that same modal. So what you can do, let's see what I do. I can make it where I set the text in the modal with different buttons. So what I would do is maybe create this close modal function. I would just make it this turn on modal function. I'll just make it take a message, make it not an event listener. Watch what I want to do. Toggle modal, and then what we do is we're going to say message p. So basically, in the div that has the dot message class, there's a p element in it. Now again, there's two p elements in it, but we want to change the first one, so we're going to use dot eq0 because this is jQuery, so we have to do that. I'm taking the first p tag, and I'm going to change the text. Okay, I'm going to change the text to message. Okay, so now I can turn on the modal with whatever message I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the toggle modal button. Instead of using that function there, I'm just going to pass in an arrow function. Event. Okay, and then we're just going to toggle modal and then pass in a message. This is the message. And the cool thing about doing it this way is I can create all sorts of buttons and they'll all use that same modal. So now if I click on it now, this is the message. And I can create another button, you click on it, and it passes in a different set of text, so I can keep using the same modal for different messages over and over again. Then I close the modal, open the modal, this is the message. Let's say I were to create another button. Actually, I won't do that, but you guys kind of get the idea at this point. You see how basically is one button that basically makes those two divs appear, and then another button that makes them disappear. That's it. That's all modal is. Nothing too crazy. It's a lot simpler than it seems. My name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Again, only key things to kind of point out is that to make that first div kind of appear on top of everything, I had to set its position to absolute, so that way it's no longer part of sort of the main setup of the page. It just kind of lies on top of it. And yeah, that was sort of the main thing to remember. After that, you just basically position everything as you like. So my name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com.